welcome back to Mexico News Network's breaking news, broadcasting from El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Carisma in the heart of Riviera Maya. Before we continue with more information, let me remind you to follow us on social networks on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Google+, and also stay informed for more information and log on to our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com. Now let's move along to more information. Information tech giant Google has recently launched a virtual tour from inside and out of one of Mexico's most emblematic landmarks, the Palace of Fine Arts, enabling anyone with internet connection to get to know this cultural and artistic piece of heritage. The Palace of Fine Arts, or Palacio de Bellas Artes in Spanish, is a breathtaking building located in the historic center of Mexico City, which was incorporated into the World Heritage List by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in the year 1987. It is a space dedicated to art and its different expressions, a place that holds years of Mexican history, a landmark that should be shared by everyone all around the world. And guess what the best part is? Now it's entirely possible. All of this through Google's Street View platform. It is now possible to enter and tour every single corner of the Palace of Fine Arts, from the dressing rooms to the basement to the magnificent main stage where the stained glass curtain is. Now, thanks to Google's Special Collects tool, it is now possible to thoroughly gather images from indoor and outdoor spaces, creating a detailed virtual tour immersing in the user in over 470 iconic places to see all around the world, including little over 75 sites only in Mexico, with access just one click away. Now, if you would like to enter the Palace of Fine Arts virtually, you can access to their website on www.bellasartes.gov.mx. Now, continuing with more information, next October, the Technological University of the Riviera Maya will host the Pan American Robotics Tournament, which will be held as part of the 5th edition of the Articular CITIC 2015. Now, this is a convention on information technology and robotics, which will feature speakers from the National Geographic Society as well as Marvel Comics. All of this was confirmed by the coordinator of Information Technology and Communication Programs of the university, Mr. Irving Arlen. Now, the Pan American Robotics Tournament will be attended by 25 teams from almost all Latin American countries, making for a very difficult competition between college students who will have the opportunity to show their skills in programming, mechatronics, mechanics, as well as design. According to Irving Arlen, for the upcoming 5th edition of the Articular CITIC 2015, Marvel has confirmed the participation of an animator who will explain how exactly software is used in digital animation. Now, talks by representatives from Cisco's National Training Center will also be held. A National Geographic researcher will also share his grand experience in the field of information technology in the university. Now, in addition to the participation of these recognized institutions, there are over 15 presentations by researchers from Mexico as well as Latin America contemplated throughout the event. Now, in more news, only last week, the city of Mérida, Yucatan, an agreement was reached between Canada's Minister of Natural Resources, Mr. Greg Rickford, Mexico's Minister of Energy, Mr. Pedro Joaquin Caldwell, and the United States Minister of Energy, Mr. Ernst J. Moniz, with the purpose to help to coordinate the climate change policies of Mexico, Canada, and the United States just before the COP21 of this year, which will be held in Paris. Now, the North American Energy Ministers Dialogue was established on the margins of the Energy and Climate Change Partnership of the Americas and the Clean Energy Ministerial meetings, which were attended by 22 countries from the Americas as well as Europe. This trilateral collaboration supports the implementation of clean energies that fit precisely the climate change objectives of the three nations, putting the development of reliable and low-carbon electricity grids, clean energy technologies, as well as the control of emissions from the oil and gas sector at the top of the listings. Minister Caldwell said that this announcement will be absolutely critical. The sense of urgency and spirit of cooperation demonstrated by Canada, Mexico, and the United States serve as an example as the rest of the world takes urgent action on climate. The minister also added that last year, 18% of the energy produced by Mexico, which is about 55,000 gigawatts, was fully renewable. The Mexican government expects that in the year 2024, 35% of the electricity generated by clean sources of energy, which is expected to improve efficiency and help lower greenhouse gases, a major agent in climate change. Now, Minister Rickford of Canada said to the North American Free Trade Agreement that it's a good example of the integrated nature of the economy. By cooperating with their North American partners, they are enhancing energy security and the environment, while also strengthening jobs and the economy itself. Now, the North American Energy Ministers' Dialogue was signed amidst a protracted process of revision of the Keystone XL project, an oil pipeline that would go from the province of Alberta, Canada, to Nebraska in the United States. It has in fact been a source of controversy due to its possible environmental impact. Mr. Rickford added that Canada would also follow recommendations made by the American government to reduce methane emissions from the gas as well as oil sector. And in more information, in this modern age, when technology has become practically essential in our daily lives, the blue light displayed by many of these devices can have negative effects on our sleeping cycles. Now, with this in mind, Mexican researcher Dr. Paulino Vacas Jacques developed a motherboard full of sensors capable of registering the quality and quantity of sleep cycles a person goes through in 1 mere night. This motherboard is integrated into the threads of bed sheets or bedspreads, becoming practically unnoticeable. Dr. Vacas in fact explained that this technology would be particularly aimed at people who suffer from depression and are under medical treatment because it will be an effective tool to allow them to know how many hours a patient sleeps. Now, this technology also has a data receiving module which sends off the recovered data by radio frequency to the doctor or person in charge of the patient's treatment. In addition, this technology can be applied to several products and to different areas. Dr. Vacas in fact describes this technology-based invention is very particular and also allows that the design of a series of products based on how development takes place. In this particular case, the textile motherboard is the base to form different types of products so different textiles can become smart and not only one. For the time being, this technology has been applied to a variety of products that are soon to be launched. In addition, the invention from Dr. Vacas may be acquired by companies who in fact wish to develop a different product of their very own. We'll be right back with more information on Mexico, the world of technology and news after these few messages.
Audio Jungle.